So this is another video, and it's about Sacramento out of CBS News. Court ruling clears way for removal of homeless camps along California highway. And at the bottom of this article, it says 6 months after that they cleared a highway and the people came back, and the homeless encampments, they started all over again. So this right here is just one of many articles having to do with the homeless issue. And so people who live near downtown Sacramento freeways say that homeless camps, they're getting bigger. And so this is the worst that they say it has been. So this was said by Kelly Morgan, who lives near an encampment. So most of these people have been seeing these encampments because they live very close. So Caltrans crews, they have swept the homeless from state property in the area before, forcing campers to pick up their belongings and move somewhere else. So it's probably clear for maybe a week to a month at the most, and then they start creeping back in all over again. So this is said by Morgan. Caltrans says that the encampments put public safety at risk and create a danger for drivers as well. So a fire last February was started at a camp under a highway, and it forced temporary closures on and off ramps. And so now a new legal ruling could allow the state to permanently ban the homeless along the highway right of ways. And so there's videos that is attached to all of this as well. So it goes on to say, I'm happy to hear that there might be some solution. So this was said by Morgan. So a previous Ninth Circuit Federal Appeals Court decision had prevented authorities from forcing homeless public property to leave unless there was enough shelter space to accommodate them. So they have nowhere to go. Mark Murrin, an attorney and advocate for the homeless, stated, so now that the same court has released a new decision based on a case in Berkeley that clears the way for Caltrans to now move in and remove the encampments that create a safety hazard along the highway. So it's a ruling that homeless advocates have opposed. So they're taking this as a precedent, but they realize that it's one thing to say people shouldn't be here, Merritt said, but it's another to actually effectively police the areas that are under their control. So they spend the money to clear them out, and it's not going away. So, of course, because many of these cities, such as San Francisco, Sacramento, Los Angeles County, there's a lot of places that are metropolitan cities that are experiencing this homeless problem. Seattle, New York, it's everywhere. It's spreading. And so people thought it was just a small issue, but now it's becoming a lot bigger, and it's filling up public spaces and then even government spaces. And so this is what they say. But California Gavin Newsom has released a statement supporting the court decision, saying in part that this is a welcome ruling, confirming that we don't have to let these dangerous conditions continue without taking urgent action. So he's behind it. Caltrans says that it has still plans on giving the homeless at least 72 hours of a notice before the camps are fully cleared. And so they try to work with the local providers to find places for the campers to go. So it's going to keep coming back. As long as rents are really high and people don't have any place to live, then you're going to keep running into these type of issues, because that is initially what the problem is for a lot of people now in these cities is not having affordable housing, not able to secure a place to live, and there is not enough shelters um, for everyone. And now that we have a growing number of homeless people, um, and it's not just single people, it's families, it's women, it's children. So now this thing is becoming so big that now they're making all these different laws. They're trying to come up with all these different plans, and so it's only going to get worse. And I feel like some of this is that has contributed to this homeless population is the rents that are high in a lot of these cities. So a lot of these people are not able to afford housing because over the years the rents have gone up. And then now you have also people that are not just renters but homeowners that are struggling to pay their mortgages, which I'm hearing this. Some people think it isn't, but you just wait till next year. After this moratorium is over with, after you start hearing about the problems with the homeowners, because moratorium not only protects the renters for a period of time, which is pretty short, but it also protects homeowners. There's plenty of homeowners that have not paid mortgages or they're behind in mortgages and they'll probably be faced with foreclosure come 2023. And so that is what we're looking at seeing when they lift the moratorium. Because a lot of people don't realize that that moratorium is still in effect and it doesn't end until the end of December of this year of 2022. And so some people thought that it was already over with, but it isn't. So it's still some limited, or at least some limited amount of protection for certain individuals that qualify. So they can't, for one, they can't evict people until that moratorium's cleared completely. Some could start the process, but two, also there's rules in place because they're still trying to distribute money from the past rent relief applicants. And so a lot of that is happening as well. So, once you sign the documents and you agree to accept the money for arrears and back payments and things like that, then virtually that money that comes to the landlords is the money for whatever losses that they've had and during the pandemic, because a lot of this was exacerbated during that time. So that's also what has also contributed to a great number of people being homeless because jobs had closed. So everybody's somehow affected in some kind of way by this. So this is what has happened. So at the end of this article, I noticed when I was reading it, it was saying that the homeless encampment started all over again. And I was like, wow, that is crazy. It was a related article. There's a lot of ads on here. But yeah, it basically stated that not 6 months later, there were homeless encampments that came back. And it was a related article, and I guess they've had, in the past, here it is, it says a related video. Sacramento homeless encampment returns 6 months after being cleared out. And so they've had this same area cleared out before. And, slowly as the months creep by and it's been cleared, it starts all over again. And that's what I've also observed in Hollywood. Some of the residents, people that I've talked to that live in the Hollywood area of California, say that they have homeless encampments along Vine and sometimes around way close to Hollywood Strip. there'll be like little places that you'll see where people are encamped out in pockets, and they'll have like a cleanup crew that'll come and like parking and like not parking enforcement, but they kind of look like parking enforcement to me, but because I guess they give tickets, and they have these small trucks and they come and they try to clear out the homeless encampments, and then they have a crew shortly cleaning up, clothes and belongings and everything like that. And then once it's been cleared, it'll be clear for like maybe, you know, now it's not even it wouldn't even be a week that they would come back later. No, it would be like within the hour is what people have said. I've heard them. They say they clear it out, and then an hour later they come back and start all over again. So it's like an uphill battle. It's like you wonder how much money they spend to send these people to come to clear these things out, and then it starts all over again. You're gonna stay in business because they don't completely leave. So they leave for a brief moment and then they come back within the hour. And so, and in this case, I guess it was a big encampment, so it took about 6 months for them to start back again. And it probably looked like they never cleared them out. So if they have nowhere to go, then that's what you're going to continue to see.